Guys, we got to get real serious. We got to understand everything in this business is predictable. The whole business is predictable. Everything we do is predictable. And all we got to do is get real good at working with the way it is. There's a lot of ways that this business is that I don't like. There's a lot of things that we have to do that I would rather not do. But successful people are willing to do for a short period of time what most people aren't, so they can do for the rest of their life what most people can't.
Hello everyone, this is Jerry D. Rhino Clark, welcoming you to the continuation of the Insider Secrets to Making Your Fortune in MLM series. I hope you've been enjoying the speakers you've heard thus far. Now our next speaker is another network marketing legend, Mr. Dale Calvert. Dale got started in network marketing in 1980 when he was only 20 years old. He was flat broke, driving a broke down car, and wondering what he was going to do with his life. Today, he is a multi-millionaire. He drives whatever car he chooses. He lives in a 16,000 square foot house with his family, which includes his wife Stephanie and their 3 children. And he has built network marketing organizations in excess of 60,000 people. Dale is known as one of the most controversial figures in network marketing because he tells it like he sees it. Dale is also the author of a training program called Confessions of a Network Marketing Millionaire. Now, in this program, Dale will share with you his secrets of sacking distributors. Hold on, let me explain this. SAC is an acronym, and basically the S stands for sponsor, the A stands for activate, and the K stands for keep. And throughout this information, you will begin to realize why Dale also feels that the business of network marketing is so predictable. So let's join Dale at a live training that was conducted as we sailed on our way to St. Thomas. Oh, he's about to start. I hear them clapping now. So let's go, go, go.
Yeah, I'm hooked up. Thanks, guys. I'm fine. There it is. I'm hooked up. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I love you. Wasn't this morning awesome? Man, awesome. I mean, you heard 3 dynamite speakers. This morning was worth the whole cruise, even if we don't get to go to St. Thomas. I was looking forward to that. What you're going to get ready to hear, you've heard 1,000 times. You've heard on tape over and over and over. There's a lot of you in this room that could do this training better than I could. But I'm going to do a little bit different. What I'm going to really try to do is combine about 3 trainings into one. I'm going to call it SAC. Y'all have never heard that. It's called SAC, which is going to stand for sponsoring, activating, and keeping. You got to sponsor people. You got to activate them, which is a big mistake in this industry because most of the time we think once we sponsor them, it's over with, which is not true at all. It's just starting. And we expect people to activate themselves, which they can't do. Then we have to keep them once we get them in. It doesn't do any good to sponsor people if you can't keep them. And that's critical. So what we're going to talk about in the first part is we're going to talk about how to recruit using the videotape. And basically there's 4 types of people that you're going to be contacting. First type is, I call it code market. Second type is lukewarm market. Third type is hot market. And the 4th type is Mr. or Mrs. High Credibility. And there's approaches for each one of those. All of them have to do with the video. Now I'm going to talk about, first of all, the code market. I'm in a restaurant. I'm sitting down and I like the waitress or the waiter. They've got the personality. I think I'd love to have this person in my business. So what do? Well, there's 4 distinct questions. Number 1, I ask them, how long have you been working here? And they say 9 months. Do you like it? Yeah, I like it pretty good. I like working with the people. Are you making enough money? What are they all going to say? No. 100% no. So if I could show you a way to increase your monthly income $500, would you watch a short videotape? What are the majority of them going to say? Sure or what is it? What is it? We've been able to help a lot of waitresses and waiters all over the country make an extra $500. It's on the videotape. Watch it, and then we'll discuss your qualifications. That's all you have to do. A little bit of a takeaway. Fear loss is number 1 motivator to man. Most people are out there trying to talk everybody in their business instead of realizing that we got to go, and they need us, we don't need them. And once you get that little concept in your head that we've got to go, they need us, we don't need them, then people will be attracted to you, they'll come to you. But as long as you're trying to stuff your opportunity down their face, down their throat, you're going to have problems. Sean, when we first came out with this concept, Sean was wheeling over here, was traveling all over the country, and I don't know how many of y'all have heard, but I mean, he was sponsoring Cracker Barrel waitresses like this. And it got to be a game. Have y'all been in the Cracker Barrel and you know the big fireplaces in the Cracker Barrel? Yeah. Some of you, everybody know what a Cracker Barrel is? The old country store. Well, Sean is now having his pictures taken with all these Cracker Barrel waitresses. And because of this little simple concept, I think where's D? Is D here? D put a stop to that. But until that was going on, he was sponsoring Cracker Barrel waitresses all over the country. So it's real simple, guys. Cold market. 4 questions. 4 questions. How long you been working here? Do you like it? Are you making enough money? If I could show you a way. Everybody with me? Very simple. The next is what I call your hot market. These are your most negative friends and family members. These are the people that you want to practice on because they've known you all your life. They know you've never been successful. They know you can't do anything halfway right. They've got a preconceived condition in their mind about you. And these people are going to give you the hardest time, normally. Your friends, close family members, and relatives. So these are your practice people. Don't get too caught up in them. You're practicing. Remember that. You're practicing. But you got to be excited about what you're doing. They have to see you at a state that they've never seen you before. Because if you go over to your friends, family members, and relatives and you're mealy mouth about the opportunity, they're going to laugh you out of their living room. So here's what we do. I have people, they're top 10 people. They're top 10 closest friends and family members locally. We call them on the phone. I call Ed. I say, Ed, this is Dale. How you doing? You going to be home for the next 30 minutes or however long it's going to take me to drive to Ed's house? And he says, yeah, Dale, I'm going to be there. I'm on my way. And I hang up on him. If the phone rings back, you don't answer it. Y'all with me? I'm sitting there. Y'all going to think that I'm not serious about what I'm getting ready to share with you, but I'm absolutely serious. I'm on my way. So I'm getting ready to head to Ed's house. And when I'm on my way to Ed's house, I am getting myself in a state mentally that I got to get to. I got to turn on some music. I got to listen to Zig Ziglar. I got to do something because when I get to Ed's house, I have got to be at a state that Ed's not used to seeing me at. Y'all with me? I'm telling you, ignorance on fire, you heard it this morning, is better than knowledge on ice. I mean, I want to be fired up and excited. So when I get to the end of Ed's street, I'm going to make sure that there's no kids playing. No bicycles, no kids in the street. And then I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to gun the engine at the end of the street and I'm going to go as fast as I can safely to Ed's house. And when I get to Ed's house, I've got to squeal my brakes right in front of the house because I want Ed and his kids and his neighbors coming up and looking to see what's going on out there. Y'all with me? Yeah. Then you grab your videotape. You grab your videotape and it's good if you can hold it like this. And you get out of your car and you slam your door, Ed. And you're running as fast as you can up to Ed's house, just like this with the videotape. It works, doesn't it? It works. And then I get to Ed's house and I don't knock. I'm ding, 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 ding on the doorbell. And when Ed comes to the door, I'm saying, where's your VCR? Where's your VCR? Y'all say, Dale, you're nuts. Yeah, but it makes you money. It makes you, where's your VCR? Where's your VCR? And he says, what's going on? I said, where is your VCR? So and he's grabbing me because he thinks I'm going to have a stroke if he doesn't get me to his VCR. So when we get there, I hand him the videotape and I say, Ed, push play. And I sit there. And I don't care if Ed's my brother. I don't care what he says. I don't care how he says it. I am sitting there on the edge of my seat. This is the couch. And I'm watching the tape like I've only seen it once when I've really seen it a few thousand times. And I'm sitting there and you got to rock just a little bit. And you do your mouth right here. And it doesn't matter what Ed says. He can say, my uncle was in one of those things. Who cares? You can't do it anyway, Ed. Dale, you can't make any money at that. I've seen a lot of those things come and go. I don't care, Ed. I'm only showing this to you because you're my brother. Out of obligation and love to you, I am practicing. I'm going to work on my good people next week. Okay, so I am sitting, and this is what I'm doing now with Ed. Are y'all following me? Because he's negative anyway. He's going to tell me why it can't work. All I am doing is practicing it and taking it away from him. And I am fired up watching that video. Are y'all with me? It's a mental state. And I'm telling you, if you do that with 10 people, they're going to do something. They're going to see you in a way that they've never seen you before, and they're going to be attracted to whatever it is. And the more you push them away, the more they're going to come to you. We go out and try to beg our friends and family members and coworkers into doing this business and wonder why they don't do it. That's why. So when it's all done, I look at Ed and I say, Ed, are you open for more information? Yes or no? And if he says yes, I'm going to try to talk him out of it. Because when I'm trying to talk him out of it, he's trying to talk me into it. Ed, I don't really think you could do this. You know, your personality stinks. You don't have the drive. But he wants, are y'all following me? So Ed is the fun part. And your people have to have fun. You have to prepare your people that the first 10 people that they talk to, friends and family members, there's a high rate of probability that they're going to be very negative. So that's okay. We want them to be negative because we're going to have fun. We're just practicing with them anyway. You got to prepare your people before you throw them in the fire. Y'all with me? Next one, lukewarm market. This is people you go to church with, maybe people that are in Kiwanis Club together, coworkers, people that you know them, they're friends, but they aren't what I call pizza-eating buddies. In other words, they don't come to your house and eat pizza and you don't go to their house and eat pizza. Y'all follow me? They're just good friends. So these people, I call them on the phone and I say, hello, Kim, this is Dale Calvert. How you doing? How's your husband? How's, form, family, occupation, recreation, message. Y'all have heard that. Just a little bit of small talk. I say, Kim, the reason I'm calling is Stephanie and I just got involved in a business that we're really excited about. I have no idea whether you personally be interested, but I have a short videotape I'd like to get to you. Would you watch this for me? Do me a favor. Keywords. Would you do me a favor and watch it for me? She's going to say, well, yeah, Dale, we'll watch it. So I'm going to get the videotape into Kim's hands. Are y'all with me? Next one, fourth one. We're going to take this. I'm going to show you the introduction, then I'm going to show you the follow-up, and then I'm going to show you what you do after that. So we're getting the tapes in people's hands. Same way. Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility. This is my favorite. Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility, if you can write down 10 people that you'd be scared to death to talk to in your community, the person that has a center of influence, that's who you want to go to. Maybe the dentist, the doctor, the chiropractor, Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility, a center of influence. Those are the people that you really want in your business. So when you call them, it's a whole totally different approach. We have a real estate agent in our town, very well known broker. His name's Doug Smith. So I called Doug on the phone and I say, Doug, how you doing? This is Dale Calvert. Listen, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I just called to see if you could do me a favor. That is key terminology because most successful people appreciate ambition. They appreciate people that are trying to do better in their life. And when they ask for a favor, they usually will take care of you that way. It's your negative brother-in-law that doesn't want to come over and help you move. Okay, are y'all following me? But people that are successful will help you. And they'll say, yeah, Dale, how can I help you? I say, Doug, Stephanie and I just got involved in a business that we're really excited about. I have no idea whether you personally be interested. But I know you know the right kind of people. Key phrase. I know you know the right kind of people. What I'd like for you to do is watch a short videotape and then tell me who you know that I need to contact. Are y'all with me? Who do you know that I need to contact? Am I taking the pressure off of him? A lot of times I'll say, Doug, I'm looking for somebody with leadership and management ability, someone that's high credibility in the community, and I naturally thought of you. What does that do? Now, how's he going to tell me no, he's not going to watch my tape? I just built him up. He's going to watch my tape. Because I've built him up. You're credible. You've got the leadership I'm looking for. I know it's probably not for you, but I need you to watch it and tell me who you know. Because that way, he's not going to say, well, Dale, I know I wouldn't be interested. I know you wouldn't be interested. I just told you wouldn't be interested, but I know you know the right kind of people. Y'all with me? Now, we get the videotape into the hand, then we got to follow up. So I'm going to use the Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility example here because this is the ones I like to work with the most. Follow-up is more important than initial contact. I hear people all the time saying, Dale, videotape recruiting doesn't work. That's right, because the TV sets of America have videotapes on them that have been there collecting dust that nobody's ever followed up on. All the videotape is going to do is build curiosity. That's all it's going to do. That's all you can expect it to do. It's not going to sell them on the opportunity, hook, line, and sinker. If they watch one videotape and decide they want to join your business, they're probably not what you're looking for anyway. I want somebody who's got a little bit of skepticism, but curious. If they get all fired up and turned on because of one videotape, I can promise you this, when they do go to their friends and relatives, and their friends and relatives say, boo, it's over. They're out. They're gone. Forget them. They're going to peak right after their first negative experience. So I'm wanting somebody who has a little bit of skepticism about them. Now, when I call up Doug on the phone, I'm going to call back in 2 to 3 days. When do you follow up? 2 to 3 days. Can you follow up in 5 days? 7 days? No, it's got to be 2 to 3 days. Quickly. You got to follow up. And when I drop off the videotape at Doug's office, it's on a Monday, I'm saying, Doug, I'm going to call you Wednesday afternoon. Will that be okay? So he knows when I'm going to call him back. I schedule a time to call him back. If he's going out of town, I want him to tell me, well, Dale, I'm going out of town right now, and I'm not going to be back till Thursday or maybe Friday. And I say, well, Doug, I'm not going to leave you the videotape because I got a lot of other people that need to see it. I'll bring you your videotape Friday, and then we'll get back with you Saturday or Sunday. I'm not going to leave the videotape hanging around. Y'all with me? Yes. Y'all, this is yes, and this is no. Y'all with me? Yeah. Okay, so when I call Doug back, I'm going to say, Doug, this is Dale. I just wanted to follow up with you, see if you had the opportunity to watch the video and see if you're open for more information. So that's the key phrase. I just want to follow up with you, see if you had the opportunity to watch the video, see if you're open for more information. Now, when I follow up, I know one of 3 things is going to happen. And I know what I'm going to do with each one of those situations. Number 1, he's watched it and he's interested. Number 2, he's watched it and he's not interested. Or number 3, he hadn't watched it. Is there anything else that could happen? No. It's 1 of 3. So I know what I'm going to do specifically with each situation. If he's called and he's interested, it's real easy. I call and say, Doug, this is Dale Calbert. I just want to check back with you, see if you had the opportunity to watch the video and see if you're open for more information. And he says, yes, Dale, I watched it. As a matter of fact, my wife Doris and I sit down and we watched it and we're open for more information. We kind of like to check this out for ourselves because we're looking to diversify and maybe create another income stream. I say, great. And then I say, what are you doing Tuesday night? The next approach is to take them to a weekly briefing, our weekly opportunity meeting. If I don't have a weekly opportunity briefing, then I will give him another video of an opportunity briefing. Y'all follow me? So if I don't have a briefing to plug them into, then I'll plug them into a videotape of a briefing. So play 2 in this situation is the briefing. Now, more than likely, he's not going to watch the videotape yet. I hate that. I told him I was calling back Wednesday. I did everything I knew to do on the front end, and he hadn't watched the tape yet. So I say, Doug, listen, I don't have very many of those tapes left. I've handed them out everywhere. I got a lot of people that are looking at them, and I got a whole list here of people that I need to get the tape to. Can you watch it now? It would be all right if I call you back in an hour. Now, I'll do that because I want him to go on and sit down and watch it. I just want to get my daggone tape back. We've got to get through the people, guys. When we first bring our people in the program, we've got to get through as many people as we possibly can, as quick as we can, so we can develop some momentum. And he who passes out the most videotapes wins. And what we try to do is we try to stand around and we try to convince people to do our business. Amateurs try to convince professionals sort. You know, as they said today, prospect. The name of the game is going through the numbers. I tell you what, it doesn't matter how lousy you are, how new you are in the business. This videotape is going to tell the story better than you or I ever could. If this says it, they don't doubt it as much as you or I say it. This is also duplicatable. Anybody can hand out a videotape. It doesn't matter if you've been in the business an hour or 10 years. And it tells the same story over and over and over. So what we want to do is get it out there, get it in the marketplace, and get it back. So he hadn't watched it. I asked him to watch it, and he's going to say, well, Dale, I would love to, but I got to give my kids a bath. Or y'all have heard the excuses. At that point, you say, can you watch it tonight before you go to bed? Because I have got to have it back tomorrow. I need you to put it in your mailbox, or I need you to bring it to your office. I can't let you have this tape any longer. I have got to have it back tomorrow. Can you watch it before you go to bed tonight? Most of the time he'll say yes. But some of the time he'll say, well, I'll try to get around to it. If he says, I'm going to try to get around to it, what's he really saying? No. He's not going to watch it. So if he gives me, I'm going to try to get around to it, then I will say, well, Doug, I appreciate that. But you know what people tell me? They tell me that curiosity just always gets the best of them. I've had people tell me that they put this tape in their mailbox or put it in their car to make sure they brought it back to the office. And they laid in bed at night wondering what in the world was on that videotape. Now, I hope that doesn't happen to you, Doug. But it could. And if you get a chance, Doug, you really ought to take a look at it, because we have some people that are making 6-figure incomes passive now that after only a couple years. I think you ought to take a serious look at it, because I'd hate for you to have problems sleeping tonight. And I will do that. And I've had people tell me, Dale, I got out of bed, went and sit there and watched the videotape. And then I woke my wife up so she could see it. And today they're in our business. Do you understand? Guys, we got to get real serious. We got to understand everything in this business is predictable. The whole business is predictable. Everything we do is predictable. And all we got to do is get real good at working with the way it is. There's a lot of ways that this business is that I don't like. There's a lot of things that we have to do that I would rather not do. But successful people are willing to do for a short period of time what most people aren't, so they can do for the rest of their life what most people can't. And we have got to get out of our comfort zone for a short period of time and do some things that maybe are unorthodox. But see, most people don't do this kind of stuff because they're too worried about what somebody else thinks about them. It's real obvious to most people that know me well that I could care less what anybody else thinks. Because I realized a long time ago, and this was when it clicked in my head, most people aren't thinking about you. They're too worried, wondering what you're thinking about them. So what I'm saying is, as long as you're honest, you're ethical, you treat people with love out of your heart, let the chips fall where they may. But we got a business to build, and we don't have time to be mealy-mouthed with people. Okay, so Doug's interested. What am I going to do if he's interested? Get him to a meeting or get him another what? Videotape. Okay, now, if he has not watched the videotape, what am I going to do? I'm going to go get it as soon as possible. I'm going to give him one last chance to watch it. And I'll tell him, look, I got to have it back. I'll try to get you another one in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So I still leave that door open. Now, what I love the best and what I hope has happened is that he has watched it and he's not interested. That's what I hope. I'm hoping he's not interested. Now, guys, when you expose your opportunity to people, are you hoping they are interested or not interested? I'm hoping they aren't. I'm just crossing my fingers, I hope this guy doesn't want to do it. Let me just take in these looks for a minute. It's not going to fall. I don't weigh that much. I've lost 16 pounds. What did I ask Doug for when I originally gave him the videotape? My Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility. Referrals. I said, watch it and tell me who you know. And so what I'm going to do is say, Dale, yeah, I watched it, but I got so much going on right now. We've started another project over here, building a shopping mall or whatever he's doing. And I'm going to say, that's fine, Doug, but let me ask you a question. If you were going to do this business, who would be the first person that you would talk to? Who'd be the second? Who else do you know? That's the terminology. If you're going to do this business, who'd be the first person you talk to? Who'd be the second? Who else you know? Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we hand out videotapes, the odds of that person being the person you're looking for is slim to none. When I sponsor you, the odds of you, Donna, being the person I'm looking for is slim to none. But the odds of you knowing the right person is extremely high. I don't want Donna. I want to know who Donna knows. And that's another mentality that we have got to get in this industry, that we are not trying to make Donna into something that she's not. I'm trying to find Donna's warm market, her center of influence. I want to know because I know she knows the type of people I'm looking for. Everybody knows 2 or 3 of the type of people we're looking for. We try to make them into something they're not. Are y'all with me? Yes. Is this making any sense at all? Yes. This is yes and this is not. Y'all have to participate just a little bit here. Are y'all with me? Yes. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. I want to know. I am not trying to recruit Donna for my group. I want to recruit Donna to know who she knows. If she sponsors, if she doesn't sponsor. Think about this. How many people in this room? The person that brought you in this industry is no longer in this industry. Put your hands way up. Do like this. The person that brought you in the industry is no longer in the industry. Y'all have heard, some of you have heard before, but when I came in this industry, I was sponsored by my best friend. He was my best man in my wedding. I mean, he had so much confidence in me that he quit 3 weeks after I got in. So what I am saying is most of the people, the great people, are sponsored by duds. Duds find the good ones. And we've got to understand that. And again, I'm not trying to be derogatory to people, just some people are not geared towards this business. Y'all with me? So I talked to, who was I talking to? Doug. And Doug says, Dale, who I would talk to, who would be dynamite. She had a real estate company. She was my competition. She just sold out and she's looking for something else to do. She's going to take a little bit of time off. But if I was you, I would talk to Donna. I'll say, okay, and I'm going to get a little bit of information about Donna. Who is my original Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility up here? Doug. Okay. Doug says, call Donna. Donna would be the one. Maybe he gives me another name. So I call Donna and I say, Donna, this is Dale Calvert. You don't know me, but we have a mutual friend and business associate in Doug Smith. And I was talking with Doug the other day, and I told him that I'm expanding my business. I'm looking for a key person with some leadership, management abilities, and he said that you're the lady I need to talk to. Donna, I've got an information package I'd like to get out to you in the mail. What's your address? And I get her address, and I send her out the information. She's going to give me her address, or she's going to say, what is it? And I don't want to try to be evasive, but I don't have time on the phone. Say, Donna, tonight all I am doing is calling several different candidates. You're one of the names on my list. I'm gathering addresses. I'm sending out packages. After the packages have been mailed and you've had a chance to review the information, then I'll call you back and we'll review your qualifications. So, key word, candidates. Candidates. Tonight I'm calling several. Y'all hadn't heard that before, had you? Okay, good. That's different. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
So, I called Donna back up and I called Donna on the phone, and how often, when do I call Donna back?
2 days.
2 days. I give her a chance to get the information. She's got 2 days to review it. I follow up quickly because follow-up is more important than initial contact. When I called Donna, I say, Donna, this is Dale Calvert. I just want to check back with you, see if you had the opportunity to watch the video and see if you're what? Open for more information. And she says one of three things. I've either watched the video, I'm interested, watched the video, not interested, or I haven't watched the video. I know what I'm going to say. Let's assume that Donna watches the video and she's not interested. Is that what I want? Yes. That's exactly what I want. Because then I'm going to ask Donna, I'm going to say, Donna, that's fine, but let me ask you a question. Now, let me veer off here just a little bit. I don't get into trying to answer a lot of objections because we are looking for the right person at the right time in their life. Everybody sitting here, there would have been a time in your life when you would never considered a network marketing opportunity. Period. We're looking for the right person at the right time in their life. And if you find the right person at the right time in their life, they're going to be open. The problem is there's not too many people out in America today looking. We're in the land of free enterprise. Most people would rather have a job than an opportunity. That's a problem, but we got to go through enough people to find the people that are career-oriented and really looking to control their own destiny. So when I talked to Donna, she says, Dale, it's kind of interesting. I was kind of curious, but I just don't think that's what I'm looking for. The only time that I will ever address an objection is I may say, Donna, what about the program didn't appeal to you? Because I've had people say, well, I'm just not a good door-to-door salesman. And crazy stuff like that. Where I just say, well, you obviously didn't catch the meaning of the video because I'm not looking for door-to-door salespeople. I'm looking for leadership and management ability people. And Doug said that's what you were. Was he wrong? And you can tweak the conversation a little bit. So if they give you any objection, the only thing that I will say when I get the objection is, that's fine. That's a buffer. But let me ask you, what about the video didn't appeal to you? Y'all with me? Okay, so Donna's not interested, and she said, Dale, I tell you who you need to talk to. You need to talk to Jack. Jack is an outgoing individual. He's deacon at his church. He's a great human being, and I think he would be awesome in this business. So I called Jack on the phone and said, Jack, this is Dale Calvert. You don't know me, but we have a mutual friend in Donna. I was talking to Donna the other day and told him I'm looking for a key person with leadership management abilities because I'm expanding my business, and she says that you're the guy I need to talk to. I've got a short videotape I'd like to get to you in the mail. What's your address? Y'all follow me. So I get the address. I put it in the mail to Jack. I called Jack back up. When did I call Jack back up? How many days? 2 days. I called Jack on the phone and said, Jack, this is Dale Calvert. I just want to check back with you, see if you had the opportunity to watch the video and see if you're what? Open for more information. He says, Dale, I watched it, but I'm just not interested in that. My brother's uncle out in Texas worked with a lady whose grandmother got in one of those programs, and she's got product in her garage that she can't sell. I said, that's fine, Jack. When did this happen? He says, 1973. I said, okay, that's fine, Jack. Now, I remember, and I'll put a little star by Jack. Remember Jack. Jack was extremely negative. Say, but let me ask you a question, Jack. If you're going to do this business, who'd be the first person you talk to? I'm not giving you any names. Jack, have I approached you professionally? Yes. Have I made you upset in any way up to this point in time? No. Jack, do you like the sound of my voice? Not particularly. Well, Jack, you're going to hear it tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Till you give me somebody that I can approach professionally as I've approached you, or you get your number unlisted. Now, not to that extent, but I come close. Because I went through the process, I mailed the guy the videotape. I've approached him professionally and correctly. And sometimes I'll say, well, Jack, let me ask you a question. If you're going to sell your house tomorrow, who would list it? And he'll give me a real estate agent. Or if I say, Jack, do you have automobile insurance? By the way, you know in Kentucky, that's a state law. Who is your automobile insurance with? And I'll get a name. I'll work for the name. I get so sick and tired of people saying, nobody give me any names. That's right, because you got to work for the names. You got to work for it. If you approach them professionally and correctly in the beginning, then the odds of you getting a name is really good on the back end, especially if you're working with high credible people that want to see everybody do well. Y'all with me? Jack was negative, and he decides that he doesn't want to hear my voice every day for the rest of his life, so he says, contact Susie. I call Susie. I say, Susie, this is Dale Calvert. You don't know me. We have a mutual friend in Jack. Well, Jack's not really a close friend, but I've met Jack. He's an acquaintance. Is Jack as negative as he seems to be, Susie, by the way? Yes, he is. Well, Susie, listen, I just want to call you because Jack says that you're the lady I need to talk to. I'm getting ready to expand my business. I'm looking for a key person with leadership and management ability. He says you can do the job. I've got an information package I'd like to get to you in the mail. What's your address? Susie gets me our address. She's not interested. She says, talk to Tony. I talk to Tony. Tony's not interested. Tony says, the guy you need to talk to in our community is Bob. Bob Armstrong. So I call Bob, and I go through my little speech there. And Bob says, Dale, I'm working 60 hours a week. I am not interested in doing anything else because I've got a business that is driving me crazy, but I'll look at your information for you and pass along a name. When I call Bob back up, I say, Bob, this is Dale Calvert. I want to follow up with you and see if you had the opportunity to watch the video. And he says, yes, I did. He says, as a matter of fact, Pat and I, his wife, watched it several times. Now, when they say several times, you say cha-ching. Y'all got that? Okay, I have got who I'm looking for. Okay? And I said, Bob, are you open for more information? Yes, I am. Tuesday night, Louisville, Kentucky, God House. Bob comes to the briefing. Bob gets involved in my opportunity. And come to find out, Bob's been in these type of opportunities for 20 years. He's been let down. He's been frustrated, but he sees something different here. So Bob comes in the program. That's what I want. I want as many no's as I can get till I can find the yes. Because when I find the yes, it's getting ready to be Katie bar the door. If you learn this, guys, if you learn this. When I call Bob, Bob gets involved. He's excited. He buys 4 cases of product first night. Who's the next person I'm going to call? Tony. Tony, this is Dale Calvert. Remember me? Now imagine getting this phone call. Tony, I just wanted to give you a call and thank you and warn you. Now, you know what 100% of the people say? Warn me about what? Forget the thank you. What are you warning me about? Remember you told me about Bob? Bob was at our briefing Tuesday night, and he's excited about our opportunity, about our company, and about where we're going. I think Bob is going to be fabulous. He might even become whatever your top position in your company is, a diamond or whatever it is. He might even become, in our case, a national director. An average national director in our company makes the person who brings them into the company about $10,000 a month. Do you want him or do you want me to take him? Now, what is Tony going to say? Because fear of loss is the number one motivator to man. It's not desire to gain. All of a sudden, Tony, who had no time, who had no interest, now has something to lose. Example, you go in your house, you're dead tired, and you're sleeping like a baby. 3:30 in the morning, your phone rings, it's your neighbor. And your neighbor says, I just got in and there's a $10 bill laying in your driveway. I don't care. I'll look for it in the morning. Don't ever call me again at this time of night. And you hang up on your neighbor. Now, the same neighbor calls you up and he says, hey, I just wanted you to know that there's a group of kids going around the neighborhood. And every car that's parked in the driveway, they got a baseball bat and they're busting out one headlight on every car in the neighborhood. You get out of bed, you be in the bushes with the shotgun, just waiting for those kids to come at your car. Right? How much does a headlight cost? $10. But see, now you have something to lose. Fear of loss is number one motivator to man. It's not desire to gain. People don't want to lose. So Tony all of a sudden is interested And I say, Tony, what are you doing Tuesday night? Nothing. You know where the God House is in Louisville? Yes. We'll be there at 7 o'clock. I need you there at 6:30 on the front row. We'll go through about an hour presentation. At the end of the hour, we'll discuss your qualifications. Tony gets excited, gets involved in my business. Who's the next person I'm going to talk to? Susie. I call Susie. Same routine. Susie, this is Dale Calvert. I just wanted to give you a call and thank you and warn you. What's Susie going to say? Warn me about what? You know, you told me about Tony. Tony just got involved in our business. He's excited about the future that he has with this company. And he's already sponsored another guy named Bob, he and his wife, over in New Salisbury, Indiana. And they're all excited. Listen, I don't know what these two people are going to do, but I can tell you that the average national director in our company makes the person that brought them in the program about $10,000 a month. Do you want them or do you want me to take them? What's Susie going to say? I want them. Then I get to call back Negative Jack. And I call Negative Jack and I say, Negative Jack, Jack, this is Dale Calvert. How are you doing? Say, are you the guy that threatened me with the names? I says, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Listen, Susie's worked out real well. Who else do you know? Just because I don't want him anyway. So I'm going to try to get at least one or two more from him. And then I promise him I'll never call him back. So we get two more that I can work with. Now, I come back to Jack here and I do the same thing. And Jack says, Dale, I already told you that I'm not interested in that. I said, that's fine. That's fine. So Jack's gone. Now who do I call? Donna. Donna, this is Dale Calvert. I am fairly upset with you. Why? Because you told me to call Jack and he's one of the most negative individuals I've ever talked to in my life. Who else do you know? Donna may or may not give me another name. Maybe she will. But I say, however, Donna, Jack led me to Susie. And Susie's involved in our business. And she's already brought in a gentleman named Tony and a couple in New Salisbury, Indiana named Bob and Pat Armstrong. I don't know how good these people are going to do, but they're excited right now. They're fired up about what they're doing. Do you want them or do you want me to take them? What's Donna going to say? I'll take them. Now who do I call? The guy I wanted in the first place. My Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility in my town. And now I can go around my town and tell everybody that I know, guess who joined our company? Guess who joined? And now that in itself is worth that credibility. Now I can go around to everybody and say, Mr. or Miss High Credibility has joined our company. Guys, do you see what I'm saying here? This has made me so much money over the years. And it just got to a point after doing it wrong for so many years. I just got frustrated one day. This all kind of came about. See, a lot of you, I can see your faces. Well, Dale, how do you do this? Well, when we first started doing this years ago, we could hold applications because I inventoried all the products. I'd go and give them their kit, give them their product, and then I sent them in like that at the end of the month. We do a thing with our company called leveraging where people can put them in under their name, and then by the end of the month, they can change their sponsors one time by the end of the month to create this. But if you can't do that, or if you don't allow that, or your company doesn't allow that, then just do it fast. I mean, you're going to work down 5, 6, 7 levels, and once it starts, the gun sounds, you start working right back up, and then you get them all in. Whatever you got to do it, it's worth it. Are y'all with me there?
Yes.
Okay. I just love that. I mean, I just do. I just do. And you get all these people come up and say, well, I've shown the video 9 times and nobody's interested. I say, great. You got 18 more people to contact. No, because nobody give me any. Yeah, and it's just like, guys, get through it. Get good at it. It's going to take a while, but get good at that. So that's how we sponsor them. We sponsored them. Now, we are heavy into retail to recruit. This is just the recruiting system with the videotape. That's all this is. I believe that the majority of your great distributors are product users first. I believe people get sold on the product as a retail customer. They're easy to back them in the business. I'm not going to go through that, but I want to talk about now once we get them in the program. One of the big problems in this industry is most people think the name of the game is getting them in, and it's not, because we can sponsor people all day long. But if you don't get some action going, if you don't get them active, then what good is it to sponsor them? Now, let me see your hands again. How many of you came in this business from a friend, family member, or relative? The first company you ever came in was from a friend, family member, or relative. Put your hands up and do like this. Oh, what is that? 70% maybe of the room? Okay. How many of you came in from somebody you never met, you didn't know them? Okay. When we first bring somebody in is when your work starts. In this industry, what happens is we bring them in and we say, go sick them. we bring them in or we start trying to teach them the technical knowledge that was talked about earlier today. And until people know why, the how doesn't matter. Y'all have heard, I've said that 1,000 times. So when we bring somebody in, the first thing that we do, it's in our manual, and the first thing that we do before we can move forward, before we can teach them anything as far as technical knowledge or anything, we got to figure out why they're doing the business. And we have a whole cassette tape in our manual that works people through this, which you all know, to figure out their 20 reasons. We call it their 20 reasons, why they're doing this business. And that is the first step. It's the most important step. If somebody does not identify why they're doing the business, and there's no use teaching them a thing, there's no use spending any time on the phone with them. I got to know why. You've got to know why. Because until they know why, the how doesn't matter. So the first thing that we do is we get a 20 reasons sheet and they fill it out. They take a weekend with their spouse and they establish why they're doing the business. They get a copy to their sponsor as well as their upline leader. So I know why. The next thing that I have to have if I'm going to work with this person, the next thing you must have if you're going to work with this person is I need a list of 100 names. I got to know who their Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility is. Because see, ladies and gentlemen, the odds of them being the person I'm looking for is extremely low, but the odds of them knowing the person I'm looking for is extremely high. So I want to know who they know that I want in my business. Because reality, they're going to quit in 90 days anyway. Did I say something that y'all don't? Right? I mean, they're in, they're fired up, somebody says boo, and it's over. I mean, that's kind of the pattern. It's been the pattern for 18 years. Now, we're doing all we can on the front end to prevent that by trying to establish the why, and there's some other things that we're going to do, but reality is most people that join quit. Most people that go to real estate school, get their license, never sell a house. Most people that get their insurance license, never sell a policy, and so on and so forth. That's reality. That's the way it is. We do what we can on the front end to prevent that through the 20 reasons sheet, but bottom line is the odds are they aren't going to be here very long. So I want to know who they know. For whose business? My business. Now, if I'm helping me, am I helping them also? Yes. Absolutely. 100 names. So I'm going to get a 100 name list, and I don't care. I just want them to empty their mind. I want to know who their mother is, who their dad is, all their relatives. I want to know who sells them insurance, who they buy their car from, anybody and everybody. I just want them to empty their mind. And I got 100 names here. Now, once you have 100 names, it's like, what do you do with it, Dale? We do what we call blitz the warm market. And basically what this means is we're going to get through these 100 people as quickly as we possibly can. We're going to try to do it in a month, max. I don't want them to be in our business a year from now and still got people on their list. We want to go back to them after they're making some money and they've got some things that they can show them that they're doing well, but we got to get through this list and get through it quick, guys. So we got 100 names. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put together a program designed around this person. Their top 10 is the most critical. That's the people on their list that I'd like to have in my business. Typically, they're already business owners. They've got a track record of success. You can tell what a person will do in the future based upon what they've done in the past most of the time, not all the time. But I'm looking for a track record of success. I'm looking for credibility. And give you an example, Bob back there. Bob, 30 years in one community down in Indiana. In that particular town, once we hit Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility, this is an excellent example. Once we hit Mr. and Mrs. High Credibility, now how many nationals are there? 3 nationals, 4, that's the top 2 positions in our company. 3 nationals, 4 regionals from a town of 60. So what we're going to do is we're going to blitz this. I'm going to get their top 10. And then what you need to do is you need to look at all the tools that you can use within your company that are what I call Play One tools. Play One tools we have, there's a video, we've got some health cassettes, we've got a mom's tape, we've got a #1 home-based business audio tape. We've got all these tools that we can use and take these tools to blitz the warm market. So you need to make a list of the tools that you can use within your company to blitz this warm market or to do a Play One, or it's your initial exposure to the business. Now the first 10 are going to get the videotape. Then we're going to look and on this list, and maybe they've got 7 moms here that would like to stay at home. So there's 7 people here that are going to get the mom's cassette. And I'm just talking. I'm trying to find out as much information about these people as I possibly can. There's 13 more people on this list that own their own business. Well, they might get the number one home business audio cassette because they didn't qualify for my top 10 list up here. And so on and so forth. Somebody might have arthritis or whatever. Now, we're going to do that, and then we're going to work through 50 of them with a customized approach, and then the next 50 are going to get a letter. It's a standard letter that introduces the business and the products to people. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go after these key people for whose business? My business. Your business. And then the other 50 are going to get a letter, just like if they opened up a restaurant in town, they would send out a letter announcing the opening of the restaurant. They're sending out a letter announcing they've started a home-based business, and they're going to send out our product catalog or a brochure. Everybody with me? Now, what I have got to do is I've got to create income and I've got to create new recruits in that person's group quickly. And I got to do it within 30, 60 days, max. Who's got to create the income and the new distributors in the group? Do 95% of the network marketers leave that up to the new person to do? Yeah. It's like bringing them into McDonald's and saying your job is to cook the Big Macs, and they've never done it before. And we put their apron on and their little McDonald's beanie hat and say, start cooking Big Macs. And people don't have a clue where to start, what to do, so what happens? They quit. I was at a DSA conference, Direct Sales Association conference. They said most people that quit the business quit within the first 72 hours. That's astounding to me. Why? Because we send them home with their little beanie and their little apron and say, start cooking. But if we sit down with them and say, look, this is why you're doing the business. I want to help you achieve these reasons. And we put together a game plan for these people. And they know that we're in their corner. Do you see what can happen, guys? I tell you, it's amazing to me that after 50 years, this industry's been going on, and we're still making the same mistakes that we made 50 years ago. I don't get it. You know why? Because it's harder to do it this way. And because everybody won't play ball. We throw them the ball. We say, we need your 20 reasons. But they won't throw the ball back. Right, guys? But here's what happens. When you don't get this in your head, when you don't start treating people right, when you don't do this, then all of a sudden you're going to run across a Margie Jones that would be more than willing to play ball and wants to play ball, and you didn't throw the ball to her. See, we miss the good ones by not trying with everybody. We get discouraged because most of the people that come in are not what we're looking for, and we get discouraged with that. We can't get discouraged with that. You got to understand that every now and then the right one's going to cross your path, and you better be ready, because if you aren't ready, you're going to lose them. Does this make sense? Yes. So we blitz the warm market. What's that? In the sack. That's activating. That's getting them active. That's getting income in their pocket. That's pulling some people in their program. When people start sponsoring people and start retailing product and making money, what happens to their excitement level? What happens to their confidence? What happens to their ignorance on fire level? Man, they're ready to, you understand, they become unstoppable. Another thing, this is real important. This is worth this. You talk to any of the top people with other companies. There's some people in the audience doing unbelievable here. And what I have discovered and what I've noticed is about 90% of the people that become very successful in this industry, not all. So if this doesn't describe you, and the fact that you're here is a pat on your back. But about 90% of successful people in this industry had what they would be considered a quick start when they first joined. 90%. Now there's 10% that buck the odds and have a slow start and then go on to have success. But about 90% have a quick start. Now here is the question, guys. Who is responsible for helping that person have a quick start? We are. Are y'all with me? Yes. And then they fall and they level out. But you know what? You can get out here a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, and you always have this memory of success embedded in your brain. You always can look back and remember success. If you can't look back and remember success, then it's easy to quit. But if you can look back and remember success, there's hope. Without the success, there's no hope. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Just think if we can start making just a little bit extra effort in the beginning and realize the game's not won when they sign the app. And doing what we've all been taught to do, to help create that initial success. And if they have that initial success, then the odds of them being with you a year, 2, 3 years down the road is so high, no matter how bad it gets out here, they can always look back and remember the good time. They can remember the success. And it gives them hope. And then without the success, there's no hope. Last thing is keeping them in. That's the K, keeping them. S-A-K. Everybody that comes in this industry, if they don't peak when they sign the app, they're going to have some form of success. Usually it's going to last about 90 days. That's when ignorance on fire. So they sponsor here, they start up this road. Everybody has what I call this a beginning spurt. It's the beginning spurt. That's when they're ignorance on fire. That's when they're unconsciously incompetent. That's when they don't have a clue what they're doing, but they don't know that they don't know what they're doing. I love to see people like that. That's when the fire's in their eyes. Everybody has a beginning spurt. That's when they're ignorance on fire. They don't know what they don't know. Things are going great. Maybe even their mama joined. I mean, things are moving. They've got visions of grandeur. Now, I would love just to be able to go back and capture my first 90 days one time. I mean, I just knew I was going to have a Porsche. Yeah, but it took 12 years. So beginning spurt, they're excited, they're turned on, they're fired up. Again, everything in this business is predictable. So if you know it's going to happen, and you're prepared for it when it happens, and you know what you're going to do, then it makes everything a whole lot easier. So they're going to have the beginning spurt. They're calling you every other day. They won't leave you alone. They've always got people that they want you to talk to. You're doing 3-way calls with their top 10 videos, which I didn't mention that earlier, but the top 10 videos, you're on the line with 3-way calls because you're looking for the people in your business. And then all of a sudden, they go straight up, and then all of a sudden they're down here somewhere. They slump. And after about 4 or 5 weeks down here, because we weren't communicating with them as well as we should have, because instead of giving them direction and leadership and guidance, we were throwing gasoline on them, saying, burn, baby, burn. You're doing great. We were supporting and we were encouraging, but we weren't directing and coaching. We finally hit somebody that's going to be great, that's going to make us $1 million, so we don't want to provide any kind of directional leadership because we might make them mad and they might quit. Everybody loses their first heavy hitter. Everybody loses their first heavy hitter because we pour gas on them instead of directing and coaching because they're so much better than we are and they're doing such a great job and we know they're doing most of what they're doing is wrong. They're doing it for personality and not systems. And we just pour the gasoline on them saying, burn, baby, burn. And eventually everybody ends up, and after 5 or 6 weeks down here, we start thinking, wonder whatever happened to Joe. Joe, I don't think I've seen Joe at the meeting for at least 2 weeks. No, it's been 5 weeks, but we're just now getting around to missing Joe. Joe used to call me all the time. He was selling product. He was sponsoring people. I wonder what happened to Joe. Well, Joe hit a slump way back 5 weeks ago, and you missed it. And guys, when they hit the slump, you got 7 to 10 days to pull them out of it. Right here. If you don't get to them right when it happens in the first 7 to 10 days, they're going to keep falling. They're going to get lower and lower until finally they're out of your business. And we say, well, people quit. I know they quit. They're supposed to quit. But what I want to ask you is, of the people that quit, how many of those people did you catch right here in that 7 to 10 day period? So you make a list of everybody that quit your organization, and then you make a list of how many that you caught 7 to 10 days after their slump, and they'll tell you the truth. Am I hard on you?
Good.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
I get so sick of hearing the same thing over and over and over and over. After 18 years, you kind of get nuts with it. I love what everybody said this whole last 2 days. Do what you know to do. In that 7 to 10 day period, we have 2 things that we have to do. And if you don't do it, then they're supposed to quit. If you do it, you'll save about 50%. And of those 50%, one of them could lead you to a Bob and Pat Armstrong. They could lead you to a Sean Whelan. But if they're out of your business, if they quit retailing your product, if they quit talking to people, they aren't going to lead you to anybody. It's more important to keep them in than to bring them in. Because if you can't keep them in after you bring them in, then why bring them in the first place? The name of the game is to bring them in, identify why, and then move them down the road a little bit. Just keep them progressing. Keep them moving. Keep them going. So when 7 to 10 days hits, They get two things. They get a copy of their 20 reasons that we talked about earlier. Because when they first come in, the first thing we do is establish why they're doing the business. And we get a copy of their 20 reasons, and it goes in their file. If I'm going to go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I know some of the people in Cincinnati, I'd pull out my file and I'd just review the reasons of the people in that area. Just so when I'm around them, what am I talking about? Their reasons. So I send a copy of their reasons and a tape called Streak When You Slump, which is an awesome tape to help people understand how they got in the slump and how to get out of the slump. And I send a personal note on a yellow pad saying, Danny, I have missed you the last couple of weeks. I've missed talking to you on the phone. I've missed seeing you at the briefing. I hope everything's okay. I hope you want these reasons as bad as I want to help you have them for your family. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday night. Dale, about half of the people will then come back after that. If they don't show up that next week, then I'm going to be on the phone with them. And we're going to have a heart-to-heart talk about their future, their reasons, and their options in life. Guys, it's the little extra things that you do that's going to make a tremendous long-term difference in your business. And you just got to become a professional at it. You got to get good at it. You got to understand that everything in this business is predictable. We know it's going to happen. We know they're going to hit the slump. We know it, so we got to be prepared for it. And then the last thing that we do after we get them in, we activate them and we keep them in after their first slump. I don't get excited about anybody until they hit a slump, because I want to know, can they fall and get back up? That's all I want to know. If they fall and get back up, then I'm going to give them all the time, energy, and effort that I can give them. I am going to spend the time, because I got a winner. You know, Zig Ziglar says the only difference between a big shot and a little shot is a big shot is a little shot that keeps shooting. See, I want to know, can you fall and get back up? Because most people can't. Most people fall, they get down, they stay down, and they blame. I want somebody that says, daggone it, I'm getting back up and I'm going forward again. And they can run into that wall and say, I'm getting back up and I'm going forward again. Because I know that person ultimately is going to make it. I don't care how many times you have to start all over. I had to start all over a lot myself. I mean, after 3 years, I worked this thing night and day my first 3 years. Listened to tapes 8 hours a day, doing everything I could possibly do. Then I had a meeting with my serious people. We called it a leadership meeting. And there's 2 people there. Me and my wife. After 3 years. 3 years. I wanted to quit this thing 1,000 times the first 3 years. But daggone it, you just got to keep going for it. And we got to get smart at this kind of stuff. We got to understand, if you know it's coming and you don't address it when it gets here, you're going to have problems. Streak when you slump. Then the last thing is we just plug them in the university and let them go right on to the top. That's what we do.
Okay, Dale, before we finish up, do you have any closing comments?
My whole philosophy about this business is everything we do is it's so predictable. Man in the masses is predictable. Man as an individual is very unpredictable. So what we have to do is we have to design all of our training programs and everything we do around the masses, where it's very predictable. We do this, we know they're going to do this, this, or this, and we know what we're going to do. Then we get to here, we do this, they do this, this, or this, and we know what we're going to do. And the whole business, just like that. Very systematic to a point where it's so predictable. It takes all the stress off of you. You don't worry about it. You just keep on doing the numbers. You keep going through the people, and you know all I need is 2 good leaders a year. 2 good leaders a year, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm set for life. Well, after 3 years, I didn't have any leaders. My 4th year, I hit 1. My 5th year, I hit about 5 more. And in the beginning, over time, guys, what happens is once you get good, your organization will start duplicating. But the way you build wealth in this is by having your leadership to start duplicating. And the only way leadership can duplicate is not through personality, it's through systems and programs that can be passed down to the 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th generation. That is the key in my estimation of this business. Again, I hope that this tweaked your brain a little bit, got you thinking. I love this morning because this morning was the fundamentals to this business. I mean, if you don't have that right, then you can forget the methods. But I'm telling you, a lot of people have the fundamentals right. They got the attitude right. They got everything right that they need. The desire's there, but they're blowing it with the fundamentals. You can still blow it with the fundamentals by just not watching your terminology and not watching what you do and how you do it.
So Dale, let me ask you this. What would you say is the bottom line in what you've shared?
Bottom line is simply this. I don't think there's an industry in the world that can provide what this industry provides. And it's like once I saw it when I was 20 years old and I really saw it and I really understood the lifestyle and the freedom and the friendships and everything that this industry could provide, I made up my mind. I didn't want to live the rest of my life like I saw everybody else living. I wanted what this industry provided. And I was willing to do whatever I had to do to make it. And guys, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, I should be able to give everybody in this room hope. All you got to do is decide what you want, master a few skills, and keep the faith. And if you keep the faith and you persist, you will succeed. I promise you, I'm living proof of it. Thanks for having me, guys.
That's right. Just do these 3 things that Dale has just mentioned. Number 1, decide what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, how do you expect to get it? Number 2, master a few skills. Some of the skills that Dale talked about was sponsoring, activating, and keeping. You want to master those skills. And number 3, you want to keep the faith. In other words, you want to believe that it will happen for you. You want to create an empowering future for yourself. Because as Albert Einstein once said, imagination is your preview of your coming attractions. So once again, decide what your coming attractions will be. Get started by mastering a few simple skills and believe that it will happen for you. And be sure to remember what Dale said at the beginning of this tape. Oh, you don't remember? Well, here it goes.
Guys, we got to get real serious. We got to understand everything in this business is predictable. The whole business is predictable. Everything we do is predictable. And all we got to do is get real good at working with the way it is. There's a lot of ways that this business is that I don't like. There's a lot of things that we have to do that I would rather not do. But successful people are willing to do for a short period of time what most people aren't, so they can do for the rest of their life what most people can't.